Hello, lovely people. Hope you're well. It is Tuesday, the 10th of August, and we're back with another summer daily news show. First and foremost, before you continue, please do like the video. It really helps us to grow as a channel. Subscribe if you're new, and leave your comments below. Got a few things to chop up today. First and foremost, if you haven't, go back and watch the Monday Night Live show. We spoke about some of the topics that I'm going to touch on here. We spoke about a few other topics as well. It was a great show. It's the first time we've all been on a show for a little while together as well. So really good fun, good vibes, good laughs. And I'm sure everyone who watched it live enjoyed it. So if you haven't, go tune into that first and foremost. Now, onto the business at hand. Some of the daily news show topics. So I'm going to start with this man, Big Shaq. Obviously been linked with a move away from Liverpool for the last couple of seasons, to be completely honest. I mean, last summer it looks as though he was going to be moving on. This summer it looks as though the move is imminent. Just hasn't found the right club to sell to yet. And apparently Lyon are the club that are really interested. Lyon have bid for the attacker. However, the bid seems to be way lower than what Liverpool want or expect. Apparently the bid came in around £5 to £7 million. Liverpool want anything between £12 to £15 million, apparently. Now, it's a tough one because obviously we know Shaq, as great as a footballer as he is, he doesn't really suit our system, doesn't really work for us, and Klopp doesn't really seem to trust him that much either. So we know we need to move him on, especially if we need to go and add players to our squad, which I think we will do. I think we'll add 2 players, but in order for us to add 2 players, we need to sell 2 players who are non-homegrown, aka Shaq, and it looks like Origi is the second player. Minamino is another one that's been spoken about. However, it looks as though he's starting to play himself into a bit of favour. I know he's starting to win a lot of the fans round. I'm not fully convinced yet, but if anyone deserves another season, I think Minamino does. With that being said, back to Shaqiri, 5 to 7 mil. So there's 2 ways of looking at it. Obviously, Liverpool, you don't want us to get shafted. We don't want to get shafted with a transfer fee. However, looking at the bigger picture, what we don't want to do as well is price ourselves out of selling one of our players that we need to get off the books. Now, it is paramount that we go and add two players, in my opinion, to this squad. However, we have to get rid of 2 players. So if we're going to do that, it needs to happen in a way where we can actually do it before the window shuts, obviously. If we don't get it right, it could potentially come back to bite us in the butt. Now, we can keep Shaq, we can keep Origi for another season, but we've seen that, we see it doesn't really work. Klopp doesn't really trust them, and they don't play as many minutes as they should. However, at the same time, if we sell low, are we able to buy the players and the replacements we need? If money's not an object and there is money in the kitty available, then selling these players slightly lower than what we value them at shouldn't be an issue. But again, it's a balancing act, and it's going to be very interesting to see how us as a club actually deals with it and goes forward. I would sell Shaq, obviously. I don't think we'll sell him for low money, but I think we will sell him ultimately. And it's just going to be interesting to see how it all goes. Will it be a deal whereby we take a hit? I don't think it's going to be a loan to an obligation to buy. Now, we can obviously extend his contract by a further year just to protect ourselves if we need to. But again, I don't think we'll do that. I don't see the need to do that unless we are going to try and sell for higher money. But at this point, I think we need to try and get him off the books as quickly as possible, but also find a way of not losing out too much on the value of the player. So it's going to be very difficult, but this is where Michael Edwards earns his money. So going to be very interesting to see how it all works out. Another player who was omitted from the squad yesterday was this man, Naldini. Everyone knows I'm a big Nat Phillips fan. I'm not going to sit here and say he's the best centre-back in world football, but he's probably his top 3. No, I'm joking. Obviously, I'm joking. But Nat Phillips, in my opinion, pretty much went a long way to saving our season last season. And I think he's been harshly treated by some quarters of the fans. Some fans like myself really appreciate the work he done for us and helping us get top 4. Would I keep Nat Phillips? Yes, I would. Would Klopp keep Nat Phillips? Given a choice, I genuinely think he would. Does Nat Phillips want to stay and potentially be 5th choice centre-back after being Liverpool's leading centre-back closing out the season? I don't think so. And I think that's where the problem is. And I know, and this is where the fan base can get a bit sort of divided. everyone knows my thoughts on FSG. I'm FSG out, not because I think they're rubbish owners, because I'm FSG out because I think we could potentially try and get better owners who will potentially put in a bit more money to the club in terms of transfers, etc. But they are not rubbish owners. But the narrative is already there. We sell Nat Phillips. I already see what some people are going to say. It's, oh, FSG needed the money. We're sell to buy. This situation is completely different. Nat Phillips, in my opinion, wants to leave Liverpool Football Club, not because he dislikes being here, but because he wants to play regular football. And you cannot begrudge the man for wanting that. You can't. As a human being, forget about nostalgia, forget about the love we have for the football club. As a human being, Nat Phillips wants to play regular football. That should be admired. That shouldn't be looked down upon. And I'll be honest with you, if Nat Phillips does decide to leave Liverpool Football Club this summer, he leaves as a cult hero. And I hope he gets the recognition and the admiration he deserves. But I also hope he gets a good move as well. Brighton are the team that are apparently pushing hard for him. They've obviously lost Ben White, so they've got a void there they need to fill. And you know what? I'm not sitting there saying that Nat Phillips is going to reach the heights as he's at Liverpool. He may not win a trophy in the rest of his career. But you know what? Some players actually just care about playing football. Some players love the game so much that they just want to play football. And that strikes me, that sort of person. So if he does leave, it'll be with a heavy heart. I want him to stay. I do think it is imperative we go into this season with 5 recognised centre-backs. But if Nat isn't one of them and Nat actually wants to move, then he goes with my full support. If he doesn't want to move and we're trying to force him out, then I've got an issue. But I don't think that's the case here. I really don't. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Nat should leave? Do you think he should stay? Do you think he will stay? Do you think he will go? Let me know in the comments below. Another player who's had a good pre-season as well when he's played, Ben Woodburn. So Ben Woodburn broke out on the scene, being the club's youngest ever goal scorer, broke records. Looked as though he was going to be the next player that really came through the academy and broke into the first team. However, it never really happened for him. He's had some really bad injuries. He's had some really bad luck, and sort of the way the squad's evolved as well is very difficult for a player to get into our starting 11, let alone squad, especially a player of Woodburn's stature. Now, he's been linked with a move away to a few clubs, whether it be in this country, in the Championship, a few lower Premier League teams, Greece, Denmark. So he's got offers on the table, I believe. I think Ben Woodburn needs to move away from the club. He's around 23 now, which is crazy because when he broke out, he was only about 16, 17. It's just not worked out for him. Not due to a lack of effort, not due to a lack of talent. It just hasn't worked out for him. It happens sometimes in football. And again, I think he's another one that we should be looking to cash in on. Hopefully we can recoup maybe in the realms of 2 to 5 million. Again, doesn't sound like a lot, but money's money at the end of the day. And dare I say, it kind of looks like we need it. But again, for Ben Woodburn's career, I think he needs to move on. I think he needs to go out, develop somewhere and play regular football. And I mean, there'll always be a door potentially open for him because he's homegrown and he's a Liverpool boy. So you never know what the future could hold for him. I genuinely hope he gets a good move away from the club. And I think he'll go into have a decent career. I do think he'll do well. And look, the boy's got talent. Even the cameo appearance in the Osasuna game, you saw he's got something about him. Like the reverse passes, tracking back, good passing range. He's got a decent shot in him. I think Woodburn's a good player. He's just not Liverpool level currently for what we need, unfortunately. So for him, he's more of a number 10 as well. And dare I say it, even though we don't play with a registered 10, we've got quite a few players who can play that role. You've got Ox, you've got Firmino, Minamino, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones. There's 5 players there. Like, unless you're going to go and get someone like a Grealish or a Messi level or someone who's a registered 10 like a Maddison or someone like that, it's just not going to work out. And do you know what? All the best to him if he does leave this summer. If he doesn't, then it'll be interesting to see how his career moves this season because he may go out on loan. He may stay with the under-23 still, maybe in and around the squad or match days, maybe. Be interesting to see how it goes. So let me know what you think of the Woodburn situation. And finally, this man, Mr. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Torrid time with injuries. But as he said recently in an interview, this is the first preseason he's come through for a good little while, unscathed, and he feels fresh, fit, and ready for the season. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not someone that puts loads on pre-season, how players perform. I don't really like to get hyped up like that. He's looked good. And it's nice to see a fully fit Ox. A fully fit Ox is an asset to Liverpool Football Club. No two ways about it. His driving runs, like his shooting, his passing, his endeavour, his work rate, it is something that Liverpool will benefit from having. It's just whether he can stay fit. But the reason why I'm speaking about Ox is because Southampton are apparently interested in bringing him in on loan. Now, obviously, they've sold Danny Ings, so they do need reinforcements at the club. I'll be honest, I wouldn't let Ox go. I know that's contradicting what I've said over the past couple of months, but I wouldn't, because we need homegrown players. And if we're going to get rid of Ox, then we're going to need to bring in another homegrown player. And we've seen homegrown players don't go for cheap. Just look at Grealish, for example. Look at the prices touted for Declan Rice. Iwobi, look how much he went for. Homegrown players aren't cheap, and they come at a premium. I'd keep Ox. I'd keep him for another season. I'd give him a run of games, potentially, if we can. It's going to be hard breaking this out midfield with Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho, potentially. But if anyone can, I think Ox can be that man. And we've seen it. We've seen it 17-18. He broke into the team and he didn't really look back and was brilliant. So I wouldn't get rid of Ox, but I'm interested to know what you guys think. This is not Ox and Cater thing. This is just an Ox. So let's try and avoid the comparisons in the comments. This is purely, do you think we should loan out Ox to Southampton, or do you think we should keep him? I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. People, thank you so much for joining me for what has been just over 10 minutes. Please don't forget to smash the like button. Do subscribe if you're new to the channel, and do leave your comments for your thoughts below as well. And also any suggestions you have for these summer daily news shows. Obviously, we'll be wrapping it up as soon as the transfer window shuts. But for now, until then, please let us know if you have any recommendations, any suggestions for how you want us to do this show, or how we could potentially make it better. But as always, people, thank you so much for your support. Until next time, people, stay safe, stay blessed. My name is Callum. We are Team Kop-Ish, and I am out, people. Take care.